Welcome everyone to Dead Talk Live. I'm your host Viz from Walking Dead Now. Want to welcome all of our viewers. If you're visiting us for the first time and want more information about our show, please visit our website right up there at deadtalklive.com. And as always, if you haven't already done so, please visit us on YouTube. Our channel is called Walking Dead Now. And please subscribe. And if you're there now, please go ahead and hit the thumbs up button. Saz is going to be handling the text chats tonight, along with Marie on Instagram. I hope everyone is doing well. I got to give you guys some notice here. I'm not prepared as I normally am. For the last 2 hours, I've been watching the virtual tour that was being given by Pollyanna McIntosh, Judith on The Walking Dead, and Sabrina Gennarino, Tamiel from The Walking Dead. And it was a lot of fun. Saz was with me in the group. It was a lot of fun. We got to see a lot of cool, interesting places. I got to tell you, I had some fun. Sabrina was a guest on our show last week, if you guys remember. And her beautiful daughter, Izzy, was there with her today, who stars in the Netflix AJ and the Princess with RuPaul. Beautiful young girl. So she was, sitting right next to her mom. And throughout the tour, I was sort of, they could see the chats. So I was chatting with Izzy. I was telling Izzy to, give your mom bunny ears. And she did. She gave her mom bunny ears. I'm like, Izzy, make your mom laugh, tickle her. And it was just fun. It was fun back and forth. And at one point, Sabrina's camera was kind of stuttering. So I asked Izzy, is your mom holding her phone? And Sabrina does this, on the screen. So they were reading my chats, which is great. It was fun. That was a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed it. And then they got to the end, which was supposed to be the Q&A part. They had only left like 20 minutes or 15 minutes for the Q&A, and I had, some good questions. I had one good question for Pollyanna, who plays Jadis, and then I had another question for Sabrina. So I went into they had a Q&A tab. So I went into the Q&A tab and I asked my question for Pollyanna. I wanted to keep my question a secret for Sabrina. I'll tell you why in a second. So they ran out of time and they gave people, screen time to ask 3 questions. 2 people got screen time to ask their questions. Not enough time to get more questions in, which really sucks. But the moderator read my question, but didn't give me the screen time to ask it. And I was like, whoa, I wanted to ask Pollyanna that question. And they didn't even give me credit for the question. They didn't read my name or anything. So that was a little upsetting. But Pollyanna, she was awesome. She did answer my question. But Sabrina's question, I'm going to hold on to that because I messaged Sabrina about this. If you guys watched the show when she was on last week with us here at Dead Talk Live, she sort of got a joke to fly over my head. And I had a perfect question lined up for her as payback for that. And I even messaged her about it beforehand, before her virtual tour today. I told her, I've got a question for Pollyanna and I've got a question for you. And your question is going to be payback for, the one you got over on me last week. But I never got to ask Sabrina my question. So I'm not going to reveal it. When we get her back on this show here again, that's when I'll ask her. That's when I'll ask her again. But anyways, it was a lot of fun. Definitely worth the money. I enjoyed being there. I got to tell you guys, though, Sabrina's daughter, Izzy, what a beautiful young lady. Great kid. And I go to her during the chat. I tell her, after the show is over, go and thank your mom for her giving you your eyes. They look identical. They're a spitting image of each other. Spitting image of each other. Anyway, let me acknowledge our viewers. We have quite a few. Rick Grimes is joining us. Montour. Kat is with us on YouTube as well. X-Gamer. Welcome, X-Gamer. Let's see. Singer is joining us on YouTube. SL. Also with us on YouTube. Lindsay, our regular, is with us on Facebook. Mona, another regular, is with us on Facebook. Summer is joining us on YouTube as well. Kimmy, Xanders, scrolling down the list here. Jennifer and John Wesley, hello, on Facebook. Arlene is with us on Facebook as well, giving us a thumbs up. Welcome, Arlene. Carlos on Facebook. Elisa. Let's see, just scrolling for new names here that I haven't mentioned yet. Welcome to all you guys. Adoni is with us on YouTube as well. Adoni was my uncle's name. Welcome, Adoni. We have Singer Chick saying evening Viz. Evening to you too, Singer. Welcome. Meryl is with us on Facebook, blowing us a kiss. Thank you very much, Meryl. Kimmy says hi, Viz. Hey, Kimmy. Oh, here we go. I think that's Rick Grimes. Is this Rick Grimes?
Yes. My phone died, and I'm using my grandmother's.
That's okay. It's your time of the night to call, so I know when to expect your call. What's going on, Rick?
Since they The Walking Dead or Fear the Walking Dead?
As better shows?
Yes.
I've said this before, Rick. When people, and I'm going to say it again, when people watch Fear, do not use it. Don't use The Walking Dead as a measuring stick when you're watching Fear. You just watch it as its own show, even though it's part of the same universe, and you get to appreciate all that, and that's great. Fear is a great show. The Walking Dead is a great show, but don't measure them. Don't compare them to each other, okay? We've had crossovers from The Walking Dead. There's going to be a total of 3 when Sherry makes her appearance this year on Fear. Maybe we're going to get some crossovers from Fear into The Walking Dead. But I love them both. I think they're both great shows. Of course, Fear, it started with a disadvantage. And its disadvantage was that The Walking Dead, by the time Fear came out, The Walking Dead was this hugely popular show. So yeah. I felt bad, for the production team on Fear, because they had these unrealistic expectations to live up to. And of course, a lot of people in the beginning trashed the show because, of course, they used The Walking Dead as a measuring stick. And that's not fair. The show has gotten a lot better in seasons 4 and 5. But I don't want to compare the two. I like Fear, I love Fear, and I love The Walking Dead as well.
Okay. And I'm the newest one coming out, World Beyond, is going to be really good too.
Absolutely. And I've said this before. For anybody out there who's going to go see the Rick Grimes movies, you guys have to watch the new spinoff, World Beyond, on October 4th. It's going to be critical. It's going to be our first real behind-the-scenes look into the CRM, which is going to be a vital plot story in the Rick Grimes movies. They are the ones that are holding him. Whether it's against his will or not, we don't know yet. But The World Beyond, guys, it's a limited 2-season show, and there's a reason for that. I believe, this is my opinion, that the world beyond was created as a way to give us a backstory and give us a lead-in into the Rick Grimes movies. So, definitely Rick Grimes. Thank you so much for calling, as always. No problem. And we'll chat again soon, okay?
Okay.
All right, take care, man.
You too.
All right, bye-bye. All right, so there you go. We got our daily phone call from Rick Grimes, who watches us on YouTube. Let me acknowledge some of our Instagram people. I haven't forgotten about you guys. Let's see. We have a lot of you guys. APCA is with us. Sumai, W2P, Ivanka. Let's see. Matianas, 55. Fernanda Susses is waving at us on Instagram. VS is barely on season 7, trying to get caught up. One Forge is also joining us. S Mooch, Zambika, welcome back, Zambika. Sorry you've been having internet troubles, but it's good to see you back here again. Innocent is giving us a thumbs up. Creative Costumes is also with us. Zambika writes, Fear is a great show if you give it a chance. Absolutely. Martha is with us from Pittsburgh. Muad is giving us a smiley left face. iCruiser, a regular, is also joining us tonight. Marcelo is with us. Let's see, I'm just scrolling through the list here, guys. Steny is also joining us. Rockstar on Instagram is saying hello. Hello, Rockstar. I'm a White Boy is joining us on YouTube. Brenda is also joining us on YouTube, giving us 2 purple love hearts. Thank you, Brenda. I'm a White Boy says the new Fear trailer looks really good. It does. It's short, but it looks really, really good. It does really, really look good. And they're going to be giving us more and more of these little short teasers as October 4th gets closer and closer and closer. I've got some good news for you guys. I'm excited about this. Our show, Dead Talk Live, I got this notification like at 4 o'clock in the morning. And Marie, I'm sorry, I promised you I would go to bed earlier. Marie is pissed at me at the moment, but I don't think she's really mad. I think she's sort of playing mad, but she'll get over it. So, but anyway, me and Marie had a conversation after the show last night, and she made me promise I would not stay up as late, and I was really going to keep my promise, and I was going to go to bed earlier, but I got this exciting email, and my energy just whoop, I got all stoked up about it. So Marie says you should be sorry. Marie, I'm apologizing to you in front of thousands of, well, I didn't apologize, but I'm saying you'll get over it in front of thousands of people and letting you know that my intention was to go to bed earlier. So, it's not my fault. But anyway, we'll get to Marie back here in a second again. Anyway, the news. At around 4 o'clock this morning, I got the email that our show, Dead Talk Live, and me and my entire team have been approved and are now listed in IMDb. And I was like, whoa, that is so kick-ass. Dead Talk Live is now officially listed. Andrew just put up the link on YouTube. Thank you, Andrew. We are officially listed on IMDb. I'm listed, and my entire team is listed, and I was just blown away. I didn't think they would accept it, but apparently I did some digging a little while back, and, it falls under the category of TV show, and then there's a subcategory that is called web series, and that's the category that we're in. But anyway, guys, if you go to IMDb and you do a search for Dead Talk Live, we're right there. Now, I had to, after I got the approval message, that's when they allow you to submit pictures and all that happy good stuff right there. So I submitted all the pictures for the show. It takes them, I guess, 24 hours or so to approve the pictures. But the listing is up. You do a search for Dead Talk Live. You will see the show. You will see me listed. And if you go to additional cast and crew, you will find our entire team is listed on there as well. Very excited about that. Now, the flip side to that, and going back to Marie. So, I find out today that apparently there are quite a few people out there who don't know what IMDb is. And I'm like, what? That thought never even crossed my mind. I'm like, how can you not know what IMDb is? So, no, Marie, I'm not going to put you under the bus. I'm just going to explain to our audience. She's saying don't do it. I'm not going to throw her under the bus, but what happened with her is vital to me explaining how the news played out after I woke up this afternoon. Well, apparently there are a lot of people who don't know what IMDb is. Marie was one of them, but it's not just Marie. Some of my wife's coworkers also don't know what IMDb is. And then Marie goes to me, well, why would I use IMDb if I can just Google everything? And I was like, okay, when you Google something, Google is just a search engine. Google houses all the listings of all the different websites that you're searching for on Google. So when I read Marie's answer, of course, I was like, wait a minute. So whenever you guys use Google to search a movie title, a character, a TV show, an actor, actress, whatever entertainment-wise, and you find your thing you're looking for on Google, more than likely it's very much on the top of the list. Well, if you pay very close attention, and this is for the people that don't know what IMDb is, if you actually pay attention to the website that you're taken to, it is IMDb. Okay, Marie? So I just want to make sure that you understand that, Marie, that, you know, when you said you use Google, Google is what leads you to IMDb when you're searching for any kind of entertainment, personality, show, movie, whatever. So anyway, I was kind of blown away that people did not directly know the name IMDb, which for those of you who don't know what that stands for, it's International Movie Database. And it's been around, it's not like something that, you know, was around in the 80s and became digital. No, IMDb became popular well into the internet age. It might be no older than 10, 15 years at that, maybe. If it's 15 years, it's probably less than 15 years. But anyway, we're very excited. We are officially listed on IMDb. If you want to look us up and give our show whatever rating you think it deserves, just, you know, you don't even have to go to IMDb. If you just Google Dead Talk Live, it will show up number one on the list now, and it will take you right to IMDb. And you can rate our show anywhere between 1 to 10 stars. 10 stars are always appreciated. So anyway, guys, very excited about that. I wanted to share it with all of you. So I hope Marie now understands why I didn't go to bed as early as I said I would. Because as soon as I saw that, my adrenaline kicked in. I got all jacked up. And I didn't end up going to bed till like almost 7 a.m. So, Marie, on the air, I'm officially apologizing to you. I made a promise, and I broke that promise, and I'm sorry. So, anyway, Xanders on YouTube writes, well, you learn something new every day. I know about IMDb, but I didn't know what the letters stood for. Thanks, Viz. Yep. International Movie Database. And they're strict as to who is let in there. They want to make sure that it's a real thing. They don't want just anybody or anyone with just puts themselves in front of a webcam to be admitted in. And I'm just honored that they approved our show. I'm honored. Marie accepts my apology. Well, thank you, Marie. Zambika on Instagram has given us a big thumbs up. Martha says, I've seen that. Let's see, just scrolling. Srinu on Instagram is saying hello. Welcome, Srinu. Gypsy Road is with us on YouTube saying, I'm so happy for this show. He uses IMDb all the time. He says, every time I do a horror talk show, I use the box office from IMDb. And I caught a little bit of Gypsy's show, Horror Talk, which he has on his channel, Gypsy Road, on YouTube yesterday. I happened to get on YouTube and I saw that he was live, and I went to his channel. And I was trying to let you know through the chats, Gypsy, I know you do box office, how much money a movie makes. And there's a great website out there, Gypsy. It's called Box Office Mojo. Okay? So go there, look it up, bookmark it, and any movie, it will give you U.S. domestic box office numbers, worldwide numbers. It will give you a list of the top 10 grossing movies of all time. I mean, you can narrow your search down to anything you want. Oh, and he does also use Mojo. So good. So any of you guys are interested in finding out that information, the website is called Box Office Mojo. It's boxofficemojo.com. And you'll be surprised. And what I love about that website, what they also do, like let's say a movie was like E.T. for the longest time was the number one grossing movie up until Titanic came out. And then Titanic came out in the 90s and knocked E.T. right off the top spot, okay? But what they do on Box Office Mojo is they give you a comparison. E.T. came out back in the 80s, okay? And to go to the movies, it was a lot cheaper than it is today back then. So they give you also a monetary value of what the price would be today. And as Gypsy Road just says, it's an inflation chart. So they compare whatever money a movie made back in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, whenever it came out, to what that equivalent would be in today's inflation value. So I love that site. Martha wants to know, when does the Rick Grimes movies come out? Martha, they haven't even started filming them yet. They're trying to wrap up the script, so it's going to be a while. I Am wants to know, when season 10 coming on Netflix? Season 10, at least in the United States, is being released on Netflix this October. So in 2 months, it's being released on Netflix, season 10 of The Walking Dead on Netflix this October. Now, that may vary depending on which country you're in. But for the majority of the globe, it is being released in October. So if you want to look for your specific country, I would suggest you go on Google and see if October is the same date for you as well. SH has given us a smiley love face. Sussus wants to know, what do you think about Glenn's death? It was shocking, unexpected. When Abraham got killed by Negan, I thought, okay, that's who went. Broke my heart. And then when Daryl took a swing at Negan, and Negan says, he's going to shut that shit down, and swings around and puts gives the bat to Glenn's head. It surprised everyone. Beautifully done, beautifully shot. Terrible that we lost Glenn. Broke all of our hearts. He was beyond just a fan favorite. But yeah, shocked the hell out of me. One Forge has given us about 4 dozen love hearts on Instagram. Thank you. Stenningal writes, I remember watching E.T. at the cinema. I was a teenager, I think. Yep. E.T. was the #1 movie for a long time. And then Titanic came out and blew it right out of the water. Martha wants to know, Carol or Daryl will die? No. Yeah, Martha writes, we will riot. I loved Glenn. Carol, I don't know. She might. Towards the end of the series. Maybe. Daryl ain't going anywhere. I'm pretty sure about that. Daryl ain't going anywhere. Let's see what we have here on Nadine is with us on Facebook. Nita is joining us on YouTube. Welcome. Imij is also with us on YouTube. Lindsay Sparks on Facebook writes, I thought Glenn and Abraham's deaths were so sad and very shocking. Well, at the end of season 6, we knew that somebody was going to go. They left us with that terrible, terrible cliffhanger. A lot of fans were upset about that, but we had 8 months, and man, in those 8 months, did people really dig into that final few moments when Negan is doing the eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and they're all lined up on their knees. People were breaking down camera angles and how it can't be this character and that it's more likely this character based on camera angles. And I'm sitting there and I'm reading this stuff and I'm like, man, the Walking Dead production team must be having one hell of a laugh reading all this stuff. Because, trust me, guys, when they filmed that finale of season 6, they filmed it in a way where you had no clue who was going to go. And there were people that analyzed it and broke it down frame by frame by frame. I'm like, oh my God, you guys are wasting your time. It's not going to happen. Gypsy writes on YouTube, I am an AMC A-list customer. So before the virus, I used to go to the movies every week. Evelyn is saying, how are you? I think you're talking to Imij. Wilson on YouTube writes, Q&A, what do you think happened to Connie after she and Magna got separated? We've brought that question up a lot here on Dead Talk, and the answer that I like is I think she somehow infiltrated the Whisperers, okay, but she's hearing impaired, and the problem I have with that theory, even though I like it, is that the Whisperers see any kind of physical disability because they have the herd mentality, the pack mentality, any kind of disability as you're no good. You're no good to us. So that's the only thing that makes me give pause to that theory. Otherwise, I love it. I think she is smart enough to have infiltrated the Whisperers. She is definitely smart enough where she might be the one who is holding the gun up at Aaron. Not that she's flipped over to the Whisperers, playing the part of the double agent is what I think she's doing, being the spy, and Connie may be the unsung hero of the Whisperer War. We've all been saying Negan is going to kill Beta, Daryl is going to kill Beta, Judith, anybody. But what if Connie? What if Connie is the hero that no one expected? I don't know how many Game of Thrones fans we have out here, but in the Battle of the Dead, who thought Arya was going to be the hero? And Saz, by the way, speaking of Game of Thrones and the Battle of the Dead, Saz does reactions on her YouTube channel, and I loved your reaction to the Battle of the Dead, Saz, when Arya went in and ended it. Okay? So guys, if you're a Game of Thrones fan, go to Saz Chick YouTube channel. Saz Chick is our producer. She has a great channel that does reactions to The Walking Dead. And she's also done Game of Thrones. And her reaction when Arya stepped up to be the unsung hero, the hero that no one expected in the Battle of the Dead with the walkers, the White Walkers, not the Walking Dead walkers, the walkers on Game of Thrones. Saz, your reaction was priceless. I loved it. I loved watching your reaction, you know? And when there was a split second there, Saz, when the Night King grabbed a hold of Arya, and you had that look in your eye. We're like, oh my God, they're gonna kill Arya. Anyways, that's for all the Game of Thrones fans out there, because something like that. You know what I mean? The unsung hero, it may very well be Connie. Connie may be the hero, like Arya was in Game of Thrones. Connie may very well be the hero in the Walking Dead Whisperer War. And that would be fantastic. That would be absolutely fantastic. I'm a White Boy says Jon Snow was supposed to kill the Night King. Yeah, well, I did not know that. I didn't know that the Mr. Targaryen there was supposed to be the one to end him. If that's how it was originally written, I'm glad they changed it. Speaking of Game of Thrones, I thought of this question like last week. Now, we all know Judith Grimes on The Walking Dead. And again, I don't know how many of you guys actually watched Game of Thrones. But Arya on Game of Thrones is older than Kaylee Fleming, who plays Judith on The Walking Dead. But if you, rewind the clock and, remember how old Arya was in season 1 of Game of Thrones. Now, you put Judith Grimes against Arya Stark. Okay? Wow. Okay? They both got skills. Now, for all the Game of Thrones fan watchers out there, as well as all the Walking Dead fans out there, are you Team Judith or are you Team Arya? So let me know. Team Arya or Team Judith? I'd love to know the answer to what you guys think about that. Martha writes, I agree, Janie Joe. Team Connie. Janie Joe from Canada is with us. Welcome, Janie Joe. Thank you for joining us. Chantel writes, I'm glad Negan killed Alpha. Janie writes, Team Judith. I'm a White Boy says Arya. Okay. Xander's Judith all day. I've never seen Game of Thrones. Evelyn, also Judith. EMIJ writes, that's a hard question. It is. And Zambika is Team Arya. And guys, I love The Walking Dead. I love Judith. I love Kaylee Fleming. I love how much of a badass Judith is. And just from the moment how she was born in the basement of a prison, and her mom dying at childbirth. But I gotta tell you, Tina is also Team Judith on Facebook. Lindsay is also Team Judith on Facebook. Saz says Arya's a badass, but I love Judith. So, if I have to pick, guys, like I said, I love them both. But for me, I would have to lean slightly towards Team Arya. I'm sorry, Team Arya, Arya Stark. Both Judith and Arya went through some hard times. Arya saw her dad beheaded. That was her pivotal moment on Game of Thrones. That is what took away her innocence as being a little girl. And Judith, she is a badass by training from her mom, from, Rick, even though she was very young when Rick left. Her birth, which she doesn't remember, but besides this last episode and what she had to deal with Earl, who rescued the kids from Hilltop as it was being burned to the ground, what experiences has Judith had to overcome? And that's why I'm Team Arya. Team Arya she witnessed and had to overcome a lot of crap. And she was cold. She was cold-blooded. Judith is not cold-blooded. Does Judith have the potential, as she gets older and older, to, become cold like Arya did on Game of Thrones? Absolutely. But Judith is surrounded and protected by an entire community that loves her. Communities. Hilltop, before it burned down, of course the people are still around, the majority of them. Alexandria, Oceanside, the people of the kingdom. Those kids, Judith and RJ, are loved and protected. Now, Arya, for the majority of the series on Game of Thrones, was on her own. As soon as her father, Ned Stark, got beheaded in the first season of Game of Thrones, she fled and she went through a whirlwind of shit. That's the best way to put it. She went through a whirlwind of shit. And for her to come full circle to who she was when the show finally ended, that is why I'm leaning more towards Team Arya. Gypsy Road on YouTube writes, Arya 200%. Kat agrees with Saz about Judith. Xander's, before I made my announcement, says, don't do it, Viz. Don't do it. I'm sorry, Xanders. I had to say it. I always say I keep things real. I love Judith. Singer Chick writes, by the time Judith is Arya's age, maybe, but not yet. Okay, that's definitely true. Kat also goes on to say Arya is tougher based on her experience. She is the winner, but I love Judith because she isn't cold-hearted. Yes, that is a very big, distinct difference between the two. Lindsay Sparks on Facebook writes, I am also Team Connie. She is amazing. Instagram people. Martha says I should watch Game of Thrones. You should. And I did not watch a single episode of Game of Thrones while it was being aired live on HBO. Me and my wife watched it over 4 or 5 months. And we got hooked right away. And we watched at least one episode a night. And we got through the whole thing in about 4 to 5 months. I know some of you guys can do the whole thing in about a week or so. But we watched, at least one episode a night. There were some nights where we watched 2 or 3. But, we binged it. I didn't watch a single episode of Game of Thrones while it was being aired live. Sergi wants to know, Season 10, Netflix, October. October for The Walking Dead. For Netflix. Janie Joe on Instagram writes, no, Viz. Sorry, Janie, I have to keep it real. I'm all about keeping it real. Cindy Loves The Walking Dead is giving us smiley love faces on Instagram and is saying good night, good evening to everyone. Welcome, Cindy. Naeem 9AT is laughing. Chantel writes, my husband Leo wants to know if you think Rick's is really Judith's father. No, he's not. My husband believes that Judith is more like Shane. No, it's been established. Yeah, we don't have DNA proof. Shane is Judith's father. Rick knows that. Rick knew it right away. He never treated Judith as anything other but his daughter, but he knew. Laurie knew. Shane knew before he died. Yeah, everybody knows. Except Judith, maybe. She may not know. I mean, what's the point of telling Judith, really? Michonne is not her real mom. How much does Judith know about Laurie? I'm sure Carl, while she was a little kid, told Judith, his sister, stories about their mom. I can almost, even though we don't know that for a fact, I can almost guarantee you that's exactly what happened. Carl loved his sister very, very much. Carl knew that Shane was Judith's father. Everybody knew. I don't think they're ever going to address the issue of Judith finding out that the brave man, who is Rick Grimes, was not her biological dad. Because in reality, it doesn't make a difference. In the world they live in the post-apocalyptic world, it doesn't make a difference. Why tell her? Even if she does know, it's no big deal. It really doesn't, And I'm a white boy writes, says, I'm pretty sure Judith knows that Michonne is not her mom. And that's the point I'm trying to make. It doesn't matter. It's the person that is raising you that is your mom or your dad in the world that they live in. Welcome to Marta on Facebook. Hola. Andrew says on YouTube, she's still very young. Let's see. Sorry, Instagram, people are answering, saying Shane is her dad. Let's see. Cindy wants to know, who do you think will be the last man standing? Daryl. Yeah, we actually did a whole PowerPoint presentation. We did a tournament, and we pitted up characters against each other. This was several weeks ago. And it came down to Daryl and Carol being the last two. And we had to pick one. And Daryl just eked out Carol to be the last person standing on The Walking Dead. So guys, we have about 15 minutes left. And I want to touch on today's topic. I want to do our topic for today. And that is the changes that our characters on The Walking Dead have had to endure when they've killed other human beings. And this is a topic we could spend 2 weeks talking about. Okay, but we're just going to briefly skim through it and just touch on just topics and talking points, okay? And I want to thank my team. Thank you guys for these talking points. This is exactly what I'm talking about. So start off with Rick, okay? We found out a couple days ago, I did at least, that Rick's first human kill was Dave. That's the guy he shot in the bar in the second half of season 2. Did not immediately seem to have an impact on him. That he killed another human being. And that's why it doesn't really stick out as his first human kill. But later on that season, he killed Shane. That did have an impact on him. It left an everlasting impact on Rick Grimes. No doubt about that. Now, moving on to Summer's points. Summer says that Carol, the little mouse that was afraid of her own shadow in season 1, by the time season 3 came around, she killed 2 people who had the flu and burned them alive right outside the prison. She felt a little remorse when she found out killing, Karen and David did not stop the virus. But by season 9, all remorse had completely vanished. And we know this because she burned up the former saviors that crossed her path when she was delivering Henry to the hilltop. Carol's way of killing people, she really loves to torch them. She loves to torch people. She did it with many different times with the saviors. Andrew's point, okay? Carl having to put down his mom in season 3. And, not too long after that, he guns down that boy in the woods as he was putting down his weapon. We knew by that point Carl was messed up with what he went through with losing his mom. Huge impacts. These are not walkers that they're killing. They are human beings. And even in the post-apocalyptic world, when you start killing off other human beings, it's going to affect you unless you're a psychopath and you have no way of showing remorse or have any feelings about it whatsoever. Saz's point, Father Gabriel, at first, he was scared of his own shadow. His first human kill was in season 6, episode 12, the Savior outside that outpost. And he quoted the Bible right after killing him. Now he doesn't care because we saw him and what he did to Dante. Father Gabriel, he shivved the shit out of Dante for killing Sadiq. It just goes to show you the progression of from the first time they've had to kill a human and how difficult it is for them. And Rick is the perfect example where by the time his time on the show was over, on the show, we haven't seen the movies yet, and the roller coaster ride his character was on, believing that there's no other way, but don't trust anybody, kill them. Anybody outside this group can't be trusted. That was Terminus's, the effect Terminus that was left with Rick. Terminus really screwed him up. It really screwed up Rick Grimes, what happened at Terminus. By the time, anyway, his time was up on the show, it was just no big deal. It's just part of what you need to do in this world. It's either you or them. If you're coming up with somebody who might be a threat, it's either you or them. Martha writes, Carol, look at the flowers. Perfect example. We could spend the whole episode, and we have, talking about how Carol put down Lizzie. And it's what she had to do. Tyrese didn't do it. Tyrese didn't have it in him to stand up and, put Lizzie down. Hell, any one of us here sitting in the comforts of wherever we're sitting at right now and watching this show can say, yeah, I would have done the same thing as Carol. But you know what? That's easy for us to say. Put ourselves actually in that situation, we're probably more than likely going to have completely different feelings about it. Okay? Saz also brings up Aaron. Remember Aaron when we first met him, when he approached Maggie and Sasha outside the barn, when he was scouting them as potential members to join Alexandria? Remember, clean cut Aaron, preppy Aaron, compared to the Aaron that we have now with the beard? Tina on Facebook writes, there's a difference between what supposed to be a best friend and someone you don't know. But once you go through weeks, months, and years of seeing loved ones die in turn or fighting these things, then there is going to be a breakdown of people the way they feel and think. It makes you wonder if there will be anything normal again. Absolutely. So I think it will change a person from a cold-hearted person when they need to be. I absolutely agree with you, Tina. Absolutely. Absolutely. Anyway, Aaron, remember when he got to that bridge and he went kind of rogue with Michonne during the Whisperers, and he just rode off and started killing walkers, and Michonne got all pissed at him, and his response to Michonne was, "I am goddamn sick of being nice. I'm goddamn sick of being nice." So, he definitely has gone through a huge character arc. Saz also brings up another good point. Let's switch gears to Fear the Walking Dead. Chris, Travis's son. And boy, a lot of people did not like Chris, but we got to take a step back and take a closer look at Chris. He was just a kid as well. He felt like he did not belong in that group with Madison, Alicia, Nick, Strand, Daniel, and everybody else. And he was just looking for a place to belong. And then he started killing. So it changes you. Let's see. Kat brought up some great points as well. Maggie stabs a guy in the neck at Woodbury during an escape attempt when she was captured with Glenn. She then shoots what looks like a young girl during the shootout when they rescue Daryl. Her character seems to have hardened from there, and she has no hesitations in killing to protect those that she cares about. You're absolutely correct, Kat. Kat also goes on to say, the first time we see Daryl kill is not even a bad guy. It was Dale to put him down because he was torn apart. He was going to die, but Dale was still human. He was still alive. He did the right thing. He put him down. Even if you guys watch that scene very closely, you could see that, when Daryl's holding the gun to Dale's head in season 2, Dale is sort of leaning up. He couldn't speak, but he's telling Daryl, do it. Do it. And Daryl, before he pulls the trigger, goes to Dale, I'm sorry, brother. But great point, Kat. Great. And then we see Shane kill Otis. That is completely opposite side of the spectrum right there. Kill is not even the right word. Shane murdered Otis. Okay? He murdered him. He murdered him to save his own ass. Kill is not the right word right there. When we can say in the post-apocalyptic world that our characters have had to kill other human beings, whether they were a threat, now, or gonna be. Case in point, season 3, the prisoner that Rick buried his machete into his head, that guy was a threat. And Rick and Daryl picked up on it. They knew that this guy, if he was left alive, he was either going to kill them himself or get them all killed by his irrational actions. But Shane killing Otis is flat out murder. Shane killed Otis in season 2 because Shane was hurt. He could not run that fast. So he offered up Otis to the walkers to slow them down. He shot him in the leg so the walkers can eat him. That was the moment that there was no turning back for Shane. There was no turning back for Shane's character after he did that. He came back to the farm, he shaved his head, and he was a completely different person. Whatever piece of Shane that was still good died the moment he shot Otis and left him to be eaten by the walkers. Morgan. Okay, talk about roller coaster. Oh my God, Morgan. Where do you start with Morgan? He killed those two guys in the woods before meeting Eastman. Remember, Eastman is the guy who taught him Aikido, and the guy who is responsible of snapping Morgan out of his completely insane phase that we saw in season 3 when Rick Michonne and Carl ran into him in the episode Clear, which is rated as one of the best episodes of all time on The Walking Dead. Eastman told him, "I don't want to kill you." He brought him back to the Morgan that we saw that made it to Alexandria, okay, with a whole new set of brand new skills with the Aikido, I don't kill, all that. Rick was not really buying it. Rick needed a fighter for the Savior War. Morgan was the hardest one to convince. Morgan sort of became like a trustee to Ezekiel. Morgan did not want to go to war with the Saviors. But through a series of events that happened with Morgan, Morgan was a killer. Morgan is one of those guys that was a killer, had killed many times in the past. He got redemption through Eastman, and then Negan and his group showed up, and he still tried to, hold on to that. We don't kill. I don't kill. Remember the wolves attacking Alexandria? He did not want to engage them and kill them either. And in fact, he got pissed off at Carol for wanting to kill one of them. This is a group of people that broke into Alexandria with the sole intent of murdering everyone there. That's all they wanted to do. They were not interested in stealing, talking, any of that crap. They just wanted to murder everyone there. And they caught one of them. Carol wanted to kill him. Morgan wanted to let him live, keep him in jail. And those two got into a fight. I don't know how many of you guys remember that. If you remember Carol and Morgan getting into a fight, give me a thumbs up. That was season 6. I want to say season 6. I'm pretty sure it was season 6. Martha on Instagram writes, Carol killing the wolves was Resident Evil good. Yep. Haley says, yep. Carol, Pit Lady writes Carol with a whole bunch of smiley love faces. Haley remembers that with the thumbs up. CC Wheezy is giving us a thumbs up. Jamie Joe also remembers that. Haley confirms on Instagram that, yep, it was season 6. Sussus is also giving us love hearts. So, absolutely, And there we go, guys. And that leads us to the end of today's show. And I want to thank all of you guys for tuning in tonight. It's been my honor to spend this hour with you. I so enjoyed this hour and talking to each and every one of you, getting your inputs. I know I did a lot of babbling today. I apologize for that. Haley on Instagram writes that Carol is the best character other than Daryl. I love Carol. We did read there's going to be some tension building up between Carol and Daryl next season. So their relationship is rocky this season. Apparently it's not going to get any better in season 11, whenever it does come around for us to see season 11. So anyway, guys, thank you for joining me. Please visit our website, deadtalklive.com. Visit our YouTube channel called Walking Dead Now and subscribe if you haven't already done so. And yes, visit us on IMDb and make sure, I'm not going to tell you to give us 10 stars. 9 stars is good. Give us whatever rating you like. Please visit us on IMDb. Just do a search for Dead Talk Live, and we are listed on IMDb. I'm just so proud of that. I'm proud of that. I'm proud of my team. I love all my viewers. It's because of you guys that all this is possible. I love each and every one of you. Thank you so much for spending this hour with me every night, and I look forward to it. And, until tomorrow night, As always, stay walking.